Hello, I'm Atakan. Uh, in this poster, I am going to give information about probability and counting. Let's start. Firstly, we start with rules in counting. The first rule I'd like to present is the rule of sum. It states that if there are n ways to accomplish one task and n ways to complete another task, then there are n plus n ways to choose between the two tests. This rule allows us to consider all possible options, then paste with multiple choice. Moving on, we have the rule of product. This rule tells us that if there are n ways to perform one task and n ways to accomplish another task, then there are n multiplied by n ways to execute both tasks together. This rule allows us to determine the total number of outcomes when combining different possibilities. Next, let's explore the rule of subtraction. This rule comes into play when we need to subtract one number from another to this. We add the advite inverse of the subtrahend to the mind in mathematical terms. It can be expressed as a minus b, plus minus b. This rule enables us to find the difference between two quantities. Lastly, we have the rule of division. This rule guides us when dividing one number by another. To accomplish this, we multiply the dividend by the reciprocals of the divisor. In other words, we express it's a division b, a multiply 1 division b, or a multiply b power minus 1. Note, it's important to note that division by 0 is undefined in most mathematical systems. So we must be cautious when performing such calculations. Firstly, let's explore combinations. A combination represents a selection of objects without considering their order. This means that the argument of the objects is not taken into account. Combinations are denoted by the symbol C and are calculated using the formula. This is our formula for combination. Here, n represents the total number of objects available, and R represent the number of objects to be selected from the total. The exclamation mark represents the factorial function, which donates the product of all positive integers up to a given number. Moving on to permutation. Permutation refers to an argument of objects in a specific order. Unlike combination, the order of the object is curical in permutations. Permutations are denoted by the symbol P and are calculated using the formula. This is formula is permutation. Similarly, N represents the total number of objects available, and R represents the number of objects to be selected in arranged in a specific order. These formulas for combinations and permutations allow us to calculate the number of possible outcomes when selecting or arranging objects from a given set. They are invaluable in various areas such as probability calculating, data analysis, and algorithm design. Next, continue with probability. Imagine we are rolling a dice and flipping a coin simultaneously. We might be curious about the probability of obtaining a 2 on the dice and a tail on the coin in a singular. Probability allows us to quantify the chance of such events happening. However, it encompasses a wide range of questions, each with its own unique considerations. To calculate probability, we establish a certain definition. First, we define the sample space as S, which represents all possible outcomes of an experiment or event. In our example, the sample space would include all the possible outcomes of rolling the dice and flipping the coin. Next, we define the event of interest as a E, which is subset of the sample space S that pertains to the specific station or occurrence. We are analyzing, in our case, it would be the event of obtaining a 2 on the side and a tail on the coin. By applying this definition and the principle of probability, we can determine the likelihood of the desired event. We consider the radio of the favorable outcomes, thus that satisfy the event of interest, the total number of possible outcomes in the sample space. This radio provides us with the probability of the event occurring. When computing probabilities, it's critical to remember that the result should never exceed 1. If the probability exceeds 1, it indicates on an error in the calculation. Probability values always fall between 0 and 1 inclusive. That's all. Thanks for listening to me.